What's up? Good morning.
Good morning.
Maybe a higher view might be better, huh? Whoops.
Unless you're gonna do a belly dance or something.
How can I make this a little higher here? See that? That. And then yeah, okay, there we go. Yeah.
All right, got set up there. I realize why I don't have sand. I can't find it anywhere. And
Oh, really? Yeah, for making a new sandbag. Yeah, there's not very good sand near here either.
yeah,
Yeah, that coral sand that we used in Hawaii was like the best one.
so I guess we're gonna have dusty sandbags until we can get a sand source or something,
Yeah.
I bet you by the ocean, near the ocean, there's probably sand because they don't have to. It doesn't have to travel as far. Maybe you know. I'm thinking
Yeah.
it's just sand is so heavy and so expensive. Who knows where they get it? They probably get it from Abu Dhabi or something. I mean,
Yeah.
because the regulations of removing sand from the beaches and stuff.
Yeah.
There's no
Um,
telling where they actually get it from. So,
in
uh,
Waikiki, they would import sand from another island to fill in all the backwash sand that gets washed out back to sea,
that's
which
right.
eventually made a sandbar.
uh, all right, man. Well, anything you want to say before we go live?
Good
Oh no,
morning.
I think we are live. Are we live?
We are live. Yeah, it looks like we are.
Oh, how crazy. Okay. Sorry, everybody. I hope I didn't say anything too outlandish. I was going to, but salutations, aloha, and welcome. This is the Dirty Dojo. I'm Sifu Z here in Placerville, California. And Sifu Chad, would you introduce yourself?
I live out in Gunnison, Colorado, and yeah, I'm Sifu Chad. So, as you
and
said already, so
and I already want to get say stuff that I really shouldn't say. So we we really need to do an outside freak stream soon so we can let all that stuff out.
yeah, dude, I think we do. I think it's necessary.
So a little we may I finalize this after this training session. I'm going to a meeting and seeing what we can do about starting physical classes here in Placerville in Hangtown, and it's about time because let me see how many schools I've had here. At least three. I've had at least three schools or worked at a school or had one, two. Yeah, I had my two of my own schools. I worked at a couple others,
Mm.
and then the thing happened. The great just the, we won't say it because I guess you're not allowed to say things anymore. But yeah, where you weren't allowed to, be hugging and being all close to people, and so that sort of fell down. of course, Seafood Chad's more familiar with a lot of the details that surrounded that to even help that happen, uh, to accelerate that. So it's been a long, slow sort of recovery to getting, uh, getting the schools, because we certainly we started out with a good handful of them.
Yeah.
So uh, it's been a long, slow process getting this all back together. So with any luck, we'll be able to start that process, which will be great because then physical schools are a great way to also advertise your other schools, because people are from everywhere. So like, oh, I I go to Gunnison all the time, or oh, I've got family and their friends in Gunnison, right, or vice versa, right?
Yeah.
So they're really a great way. Um, and interestingly enough, this whole connection that I'm meeting with, this wasn't through the internet or anything. How bizarre is that? All just word of mouth kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So very, very bizarre, especially the details, which I won't go into. So yeah,
Okay.
all bizarre. But quite honestly, my whole kung fu existence, perhaps even pre kung fu, has been really bizarre. And it didn't stop when I got involved with kung fu. What it did was it helped me to understand and appropriate and contextualize the freaky world and life that I was living. And whenever you think you're like maybe too much of a freak, all you have to do is look up Vivian Wilson. I've done so myself. In fact, I've gotten an image of Vivian Wilson and had it's my wallpaper now, because Vivian Wilson is, I think, the most beautiful and vivid icon of the times we're living in right now. I wonder if there was if there was like some sort of chat going on. I don't know. I don't think you can throw a picture into chat anymore. Not these days, huh? But anyway, yeah, just look up Vivian Wilson, and I implore you, if you want to be reminded of the world that we live in, then just print it out, put it up on the wall, maybe put it on your phone and whatnot. I'm just going to leave it at that. There's nobody here. It's okay. So, um, all right, let's get rolling. I'm surprised I can even speak right now. The allergies have hit me hard. So
Yeah, it's getting pretty pollinated out here.
it is, yeah, yeah. So let's get going. We're at 9, 8, 10, 9. Oh, we're 9 minutes in. There we go. We're 9 minutes in. So 10, 15, 20. So 9:20 will be our ending point. 10 minutes to sandbag training, or dusty sandbag training. Oh man, I got music here in here too. This is not good. Very light. If you got dusty sandbag, very light. Very light. I think due to the circumstances we're going through right now, it might be hard for you to find sand at the hardware store. And that's where you want to get your sand. You don't want to be getting it from like the beach or something. Um, Yeah, you want nice, clean sand because this stuff, you're getting very intimate with this, repetitively intimate with this. So, clean sand, keep it clean. But I believe Seafood Chad, you haven't got new sand, have you?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, yeah.
I think the white background just, blends the white dust. Or beige background.
I've been doing the work of putting chapters in the videos. I'm slowly but surely adding more chapters, and those chapters are quite valuable. It makes these videos, these streams, especially the longer ones from the other channel, it makes them much more tolerable, you know,
Mm.
because usually if you have an hour of content, uh, our short brains that we've developed where we just want to see little blips and shorts.
Our short attention span.
Yeah,
Our
that's what I
our,
was trying
our
to say.
minimized our
Yeah, so now these chapters allow you to entertain that short attention span. You know? I think people are okay with long form, but long form, I think, really does have to be specific to people's wants, what it is that they're looking to do for the next hour or something, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the only time I consume long form is right before I go to bed. That just help me get to sleep. You know, I'm more like watching TV or something. You know, because they got the sleep timer on YouTube. You can use that sleep timer on the settings and put an old movie on, and then have it turn off after a half hour.
Yeah.
And works all the time. Works like a charm.
Timing your sleep. What's the word I'm looking for? Your sleep routine. Yeah.
It is dusty. So I'm not using my earpiece. We've kind of stopped using those. Do I? Yeah, you can hear me okay. I can hear you.
You can hear me okay?
Yeah, yeah. You hear me all right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And don't forget my favorite. This is a good one. It is like going around corners. the the last fight I got into in Hawaii was ended with these nice little casual bam. They were in slow motion. Bam. Bam. Playing 4 minutes. We got 4 minutes to go here. I want to turn you on to some sandbag exercises after in about 4 minutes. Oh, don't forget the Muay Thai, our favorite Muay Thai strike.
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine that the elbow can come in. Well, you can think north, south, right? East and west,
Yeah.
right? But same thing with the fist, right? You should be able to think that way, like north, right? North, south, east, and west. So that's like this, almost like a back fist, right?
Yeah.
And having, of course, there's probably even more if there's little degrees within that. But if you just develop that northeast southwest approach to striking, then you're miles ahead of a lot of people, especially people out on the streets that don't train. They develop their one favorite punch, their 1, 2, 3. But boy, there's just so many ways to come in with that.
Yeah.
I've said this before, I'll say it again. It amazes me that this is not an essential part of every martial arts curriculum. Blows my mind. Because this is much different than heavy bag training. This is much different than speed bag training. This is a whole different thing, whole different purpose, which is to develop the hand. Those other things are more to develop coordination and maybe strength in the heavy bag. I mean, hey, somebody that can really attack a heavy bag, I got respect for it. I'm just saying it is a different thing what we're doing here. A heavy bag, you have to attack that heavy bag. So in Wing Chun, the assumption is the attack is coming to us already. We don't need it's already there. We don't need to exert so much force. In Wing Chun, one of the things that make Wing Chun great is that we don't have to exert the force. We just have to manage the incoming force, both offensively and defensively at the same time. You know, whereas whereas they have one job, which is to hit you and to attack you. You don't have that job, but you do have the other job, which is managing the incoming attack in an offensive and defensive manner. What the other person isn't doing is acting in an offensive and defensive manner. That's what they're missing. So this really is an equation, right? They're missing that one element, which is defensive. One guarantee we have in Wing Chun as Wing Chun practitioners, as yeah, I forget the word. is that we are guaranteed that they are attacking, right? The person that is attacking, yeah, that's what I wanted to say here, is you can attack somebody and defend at the same time. Unless you do Wing Chun, then you do have a special skill there, but it's predicated on the context of being attacked. Am I making sense, Sifu Chat?
Yeah.
Okay. I miss the old time religion in Mississippi where you'd say something and people understood, they agreed, they say, Amen.
Hey, man, I agree with you. That
All
makes
right,
a
man.
whole lot of sense.
Very good.
Yeah, maintaining body structure. You know, you're not striking, they're striking themselves on you. Onto your structure.
That's right. If as long as you allow them, if they're going to attack you, they have to come to you. I mean, there everything has context. If I maybe if I get up in your face, I am making you attack me. So that's a way to force the hand, right?
Mm-hmm.
You go. I'm going to come up in your face. I know you're going to hit me, and then you just come underneath and do the dirty. So, um, but that's one. That's that particular context. I think in most contexts, just keeping your distance, managing the distance, and then if they do happen to close the distance on you, then manage the attack. So I wonder if Justin's around. If Justin's around, uh, let us know. Okay. Um, right. I got this. Oh my goodness. Somebody's in there. I'll play this. Uh, with the sandbag, go ahead and get your sandbag happening. And now, something that's really critical is if you have an attack coming in, more likely than not, your arms and your fists are going to be the quickest thing to put between you and your adversary. Right. The issue there is weak hand. There are little bones and all that. That our hands are weak relative to the rest of our body. So is our wrist. Wrists are very weak relative to a lot of the other parts of our body. It's strange that this main interface is so weak, especially for us devolved humans. If we were monkeys, we probably still have that strength and whatnot. It's kind of gone away, you know. And evolutionarily speaking, it's just probably even for the monkey, right? This is compared to the rest of its body, this is still probably the weakest. But a monkey will rip you apart with its bare hands. So um, I think this is made a lot. There's a lot made of this in the fitness community, and that is sort of regaining a lot of the strengths or natural abilities that we lost through evolution. In other words, hanging from trees, being able to run, sprint, various things like that. And I I kind of agree. You know, if you don't use it, you're going to lose it. So, so getting back to this hand system, very weak. This is a lot stronger than this system here. That's why a lot of times just hitting with an elbow is going to be a lot more effective, especially if they're big. If you're a big person, then you really do have to utilize your elbows. This is not going to be strong enough to deal with a bigger, larger person, regardless if they can fight or not. So this usually is going to be your best bet. But the problem is this connected. This is connected. This is connected to a really weak system. This is horribly weak, right? And we want to raise these arms up. Now, a good fighter knows if somebody raises their arms up, just slap them, literally slap them down. Literally slap them down because this is so weak that most people just slap the arm down and punch it. You know, you slap and punch, right? So, again, coming up to a person in order to get them to raise their arms. You know, because once their arms are raised, they can't really do anything unless they bring them back, right?
Mm-hmm.
So again, maintaining distance and all that, but context. Sometimes you want to be the one to come in and make them do something, you know. So with that in mind, this is a very important exercise to do, and that is just deltoids. You can do deltoids from the side. You go lateral raises or side raises. I forget which one's lateral. And then you have the front. So just to be non-technical, front deltoid raise and side deltoid raise. Yeah. So let's go ahead, and we only have a few more minutes left to class here. So let's end with some deltoid raises. And again, we really want to develop strength in those weak areas. Weightlifting is a good thing to do, and that's exactly what we're doing here. So let's start with the first side. Left side first, and one. Now you can make this harder by squeezing the bag really hard. Squeeze hard, yeah. You can even make it harder by doing one of those little throw and catch. I don't need to make it that harder. I'm getting a good exercise right now. Hey, squeeze. 9, 10, 11, 12. Anywhere from 8 to 15 each side. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now, if it's too much weight, if whatever you use is too much weight, don't do as many sets, or reps rather. If that's not enough resistance, you can rather add more weight, or because we're Wing Chun, we can add dynamic. We understand dynamic tension, isokinetic uh, uh, tension. We understand that. So we literally could, here, what is a good example? We could take this and go, you see what I'm saying? But
Yeah, isometric dynamic tension.
yes, Yeah. So you can add that if you want more resistance. Just get it from within. You know, if I didn't have a sandbag, I would just do that. Yeah. Use and isodynamic. I can't speak. My
Isometric,
brain's full of snot. But yeah,
isometric dynamic tension.
there we go. um, yeah, that's our specialty in Wing Chun. So we can apply that to our weight training and really get a lot out of it. You know? All right, let's get a second set in there. And one, two, three. You can also let it down slower. Four. And also raise it up higher. Five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, I got a nice workout from that. I can lift much more than this, but I'm
I
using
think,
those other techniques in order to get more resistance. Because
yeah,
what is weight? Weight is just resistance.
I
So,
think I have sand in my sandbag.
all right, other side. One, two,
Like it would be a lot more comfortable with less weight.
three, four. Try to lead with your outside wrist. Five. Because that's your bond cell. Kind of use your bond
Yeah.
cell. Six,
Yeah.
seven, eight, nine, 10, 11, 12. Good. Let's do one more set of these, and then we'll cut. Now we do this
Yeah.
training session in two parts. One part is open door. We allow anyone to kind of come in, and if you're interested and in respective to the martial arts, then you're welcome here, of course. The other half of this training session is over at patreon.com/cfuz, and that's where we go in specifically. We get do traditional Wing Chun training and Sifu Z style Wing Chun training specifically, which is really a derivative, in my opinion, a derivative of more traditional training. Yeah, because people have accused me of being a hybrid. Like, oh, you do hybrid Wing Chun. You do jujitsu, and I'm like, traditional Wing Chun. I promise, it's traditional Wing Chun.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But
It's
here
sort
we're
of
doing our
difficult.
homework. We're doing our warm up. This dirty dojo session is our warm up to our training session. Let's do our last set three. And Sifu Chad, would you count the last set out for us, please?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12.
Yeah.
right side. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12.
Beautiful. All right, folks. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. We're here every Friday at 9:30 Pacific Standard Time. And have a great weekend.